Okay, here we go. This one's going to be a really quick video about Jack Smith being an illegal appointment that I found over at Reason Magazine. This kind of went unnoticed by the mainstream news, but they make great points. So we're going to figure this out. Welcome to Doug in Exile. I'm Doug Tenaple. This is where all the happy patriots are because we're mocking Jack Smith being illegitimate. Here it goes. You watch this. Here's this is a new Amicus brief. Special Counsel Jack Smith is not an officer of the United States. Let me zoom in on this so we can get a little better on the text here. Okay. Here it is. At the most, Smith's temporary position is properly characterized as a mere employee, to paraphrase Justice Scalia's Morrison versus Olson dissent. This employee came as an employee. Okay, this is by Josh Blackman at Reason Magazine. I have filed an amicus brief in United States versus Trump in Florida, one of two prosecutions brought against former President Trump by special counsel Jack Smith. This brief, which is on behalf of Professor Seth Barrett Tillman and the Landmark Legal Foundation, contends that special counsel Jack Smith is not an officer of the United States. At most, his position is properly characterized as a mere employee, and as a mere employee, Smith cannot exercise the broad prosecutorial powers of the United States Attorney. If our position is correct, then this prosecution can continue, if at all, only under the normal supervision of the politically accountable United States Attorney for the Southern District of Florida. So they have the wrong person. They're at the wrong place. And I love this because this could have legs. It's being reviewed by the court right now. So it's officially been submitted. The other side's allowed to give their counter. Let's get to this is just a 3-paragraph argument. So I like their brevity. After our brief was accepted by the court, the order was issued. The amicus brief is accepted for court consideration. Should the special counsel of defendants wish to file a separate response to the amicus brief, they may do so on or before April 4th in accordance with the local rules. Here's the introduction section of the brief. Disputes about offices and officers generally result from two types of questions. First, there are procedural questions. How is the office created? How is the person appointed to that office? And how can the officer's tenure be terminated? Second, there are substantive questions. What is the scope of the officer's powers? And what level of supervision or direction is the officer subject to? In United States versus Trump implicates both aspects of special counsel Smith's role. So we have procedurally, special counsel Smith's position was purposefully created by the Attorney General, that's Merrick Garland, to resolve a particular controversy, and this special counsel position will cease to exist when that investigation is completed. This ephemeral position's duties were and are only temporary rather than continuing and permanent. Okay, that goes to his staying power. Furthermore, under long-standing and controlling precedent, a position that is not continuous is not an office. At most, Smith's temporary position is properly characterized as a mere employee. Special counsel Smith has not held an office, and he's not an officer of the United States. To paraphrase Justice Scalia's Morrison dissent, this employee came as an employee. So he's hitting way above his weight, okay? Substantively, the regulations vest the special counsel with, quote, the full power and independent authority to exercise all investigative and prosecutorial functions of the United States Attorney. A U.S. attorney is considered an inferior officer of the United States. However, a mere employee cannot exercise the broad prosecutorial powers of a United States attorney, both procedurally and substantively. The prosecutorial actions taken by special counsel Smith are ultra vires or vires with respect to the special counsel regulation. Likewise, Smith's exercising the powers of an officer of the United States in his capacity as an employee of the United States violates the Supreme Court's Appointments Clause jurisprudence. While Smith's and his subordinates' past actions may be salvageable by the de facto officer doctrine. His future actions can continue under the current regulations, if at all, only under the normal supervision of the politically accountable U.S. attorney for the Southern District of Florida. As I've said before, there's always more officer stuff to write about. So, could Jack Smith get canned for being a mere employee and not an officer? That's what I like about this article I found from Reason Magazine. And this is good journalism, guys. These are the only people writing. Usually I find articles that like 100 people are writing on. These are the only people. And so Jack Smith, I hope you get the boot, and I hope the court considers this one. If they do, y'all heard it here first, and I hope you've subscribed. I'm Doug.